Hello all, and welcome to day one. This is the first webinar that we're doing for YouTube Revealed, and this is going to be, I believe I'm going to limit it to about 5 weeks. I think it's just about 5 weeks. I may extend it. I have not totally made up my mind about that. Might go longer, might go less. We will figure it out, but I believe 5 weeks is the minimum that I'm going to go for it. Okay, so I would love to be for you guys to be here every step of the way with every webinar we're doing. And this week, the first week, you know, we're really just going to, in terms of jumping in, we're going to have to start just talking about what YouTube is. So let's just say, why do we use YouTube, or video marketing for that matter? Well, I use video marketing and YouTube for two reasons. One, to gain traffic, and one, to keep traffic. Now, when I'm talking about gaining traffic, I'm talking about submitting videos to video directories that are similar to article directories, so you can get those distributed and out there. That, as well as indexing of the videos by Google, can get those videos seen, the more traffic to those videos. And I find that video actually works just as good, in my opinion, as text content when we're talking about getting indexed and searched by search engines as well as Google. Keeping traffic. So how do I use video to keep traffic? Well, anytime I talk about video, this is what I talk about: building relationships. Video bridges this gap of impersonality, and I say this all the time. It bridges the gap of impersonality that you find so often on the web. You see, most of the time, the web is very, it can be somewhat cold because you're never seeing someone face to face, or in person. But with video, what you're able to do is you're actually able to see somebody face to face in the form of a video, and it really does build trust. So the way I build trust is personal video messages. I build trust through tutorials, screen capture tutorials, and I send video in Vmail. You know, if I send an email and I have a link that looks like a video, they click on it and they get a personal message from me. So these are some of the ways that I keep traffic, and it all boils down to building trust. Okay, you keep traffic by giving good content, building trust, and keeping communications lines open. Okay. Now, YouTube, began in 2005, and around that time, and before then, if you needed a video up on your site, you had to get a developer, you had to have a programmer, a web designer help you, a webmaster help you get all those things up and going, and you had to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars back then to have to figure out how you were going to get video on your site and to get optimized with video. Well, after YouTube came about, they just, unfortunately, that part of the workforce was diminished greatly because YouTube made it almost just so easy to upload a video, and that's what YouTube did. They created a wonderful way of uploading video fast and efficiently, and the beauty is that video is indexed by Google, and the reason being YouTube videos are indexed by Google is because Google owns YouTube, so naturally they have a stake in it. So today, what we're going to focus on, and I just wanted to kind of go over some of those things, just to say, okay, this is the reason we use video, and this is what video, how it actually helps our business, and this is what social video marketing is. So we're going to start in and talk about cameras, formatting, and editing software. Okay? All right? Cameras, formatting, and editing software, because these are the components that you need when you're creating a business online. Okay? When you're creating video, these are the essentials. You're going to need a camera, clearly, and you're going to have a little bit of knowledge about formatting. What are video files, and I'm going to show you why you're going to need that at some point. But for now, just know you need formatting. Okay, you need to know what kind of video what video files are. And then you're going to need editing software, especially if you're trying to do that second thing that I was talking about, which is keeping traffic. I keep traffic by creating video tutorials and screen capture tutorials, and that builds trust. And the only way I can do that is through certain editing software. So what I'll be showing you is I'm going to be showing you various editing software that have a couple different features, and I've had people ask me, I don't have a lot of money, so I can't spend a lot of money on cameras and editing software, etc. And so I have some options on here that might work for you. They're somewhat limited to what I use and what I do, but you might find them beneficial for yourself. So let's continue on and start by talking about the compliant video formats that YouTube allows. FLV. Okay, now this is an Adobe Flash file, and it is the most common video file out there. Okay, that as well as MP4. And MP4 is also a version of Flash, and it is compatible with everything. Okay, these are the two most common file types that you're going to see. Okay, I just want you to know, but I'm going to go through all of the ones that YouTube allows. Okay, all the different video extension files that they allow. Okay, move on. MOV. Now this is an Apple QuickTime movie. Very compatible with Apple, yet not as compatible with PC. All right, and this next one is M4V. Again, another Apple developed file format. It's very similar to MP4 in that it has a separate audio file that is attached to it. Generally MP4 and M4V have like a separate audio that is integrated into the video format. Windows AVI stands for Audio Video Interleave, compatible with Windows. Okay, and WMV, Windows Media Video. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different file extensions, or another word for that is file formats or video file types. Okay, I want you to concentrate on the first two. The other ones, as you can see, 2 are Apple, 2 are PC, and what I'd like you to focus on are just simply the 2 that are most compatible with both PC and Apple products, okay, or Mac products, and that is FLV and MP4. Okay, those are the 2 I really want you to focus on, because they're generally the ones that are compatible with everything. Because we're moving into video devices. Now, these are the video devices that you can use to capture video. A Digital 8. Now, this is just a mid-sized digital device, like a camcorder. It's an absolutely fine device to use. However, a lot of people are going away from Digital 8 and moving into mini DV or flip cameras. And oftentimes they're going into iPhone or Droid use for their video content. They're just using their mobile devices as video recorders because they can. These are features that a lot of the smartphones have, and you can directly upload your videos often from your iPhone or your Droid right onto YouTube. So I'm seeing a lot of this happening. I'm seeing a lot of people using those. I use a flip camera with my Droid. Okay, I try to use both. Flip camera is really just taking over. But let's move on. HDV, high definition video camera. Now this is the type of camera that costs probably $6,000. A lot of infomercials are shot with this particular type of camera. It is not necessary for obviously uploading. It is based purely on the budget that you have available to you, whether you get this camera or not. I find that it's unnecessary. I've shot with both, and And frankly, the mini DV or flip camera is also an is a high definition product as well. So that being said, you know, HDV or mini DV, either one works. Okay. Now, when we're talking about flip camera, I recommend the Sony Bloggie. Now, it's a great camera. It's a flip cam, and it's very affordable. So what it looks like. And the cool thing about it is it has a on the side, it actually has right here, if you can see what I'm doing right here, it has a USB port that you can directly input right into your computer, and it's a great option. Now this goes for about $150 $200 resale, I think, retail, and I've seen it all the way up to $250, but I think after the holidays it kind of went down. So there's this as a nice option for a flip camera. Another idea is for video devices. Sony Bloggie, so let's say that it was $150 to $250. This is my recommendation. Now your videos don't need to look like professionally produced Hollywood productions. Just remember that already, okay? Remember that off the bat. But the other thing I want you to remember is a web camera. You know, maybe you can't afford to get even spend $200. Well, you can get a web camera for $50, $45, and oftentimes your computer already has a web camera, already installed, already built in. Generally for Macs that is the case. For PCs sometimes they don't have it, but if you have anything that's that is 2 gigs or more of RAM on a computer, if you have a newer computer, generally speaking, you're going to have a built-in web camera. So let's talk audio devices. I have a headset, a Logitech headset, which I use, and I'll tell you what is great about audio is that, you know, when you're trying to convey a message and you're doing it with your computer's microphone and you're in an echoey area or you have a lot of background noise, you know, sometimes it gets distracting. So that's why a good solution and a good idea is using something like a headset. And the one I use is Logitech. I'm wearing it currently, and what's great is that it has both an input and output, so I can hear, you know, people. If I'm doing something, say in a webinar, and I want to hear somebody, well, I can hear them obviously, but I can also use the microphone on here to really get the quality of the audio a lot crisper than just simply using the camera's microphone. However, another option is using an exterior microphone. Now, such as the Zoom recorder. I have what is called an H2 Zoom recorder, and it is terrific. You plug it in to your computer, and it acts as a microphone as well as a recorder. And the benefits of that is that you can record maybe a webinar or anything you want, and then have that and roll that, convert that into an MP3, which is an audio file, and create podcasts for that while at the same time using it, doubling it up as a microphone. So it's a totally terrific idea. And the Zoom recorder is a little more pricey than a Sony digital voice recorder. Sony digital voice recorder goes for about $150. Zoom recorder goes for about $250 to $300. Okay, so that's why I put the Sony digital voice recorder. Both are great. Both are absolutely fine. And then a simple lapel mic would be nice. $30 for these things generally. They're a good choice. If you're ever recording things where you're in front of the camera and you don't want to have a big bulky microphone just staring you in the face, or if you don't want to have the sound and the echo of being maybe away from your computer, well, a lapel mic is a great solution for staying inconspicuous. Okay, it's just a really nice option. Okay, so lighting. What kind of lighting do you need? Well, some kind of lighting solution would be fine, like sunlight or sunshine. Also, a simple halogen light will do. Again, you don't have to go crazy with your money spending. You don't have to try to spend a ton of dough on professional lighting. You can simply do like a work light at Home Depot. Now, so I was going to say is that work lights can cost about $25 at Home Depot. That's a great solution, and you don't have to break the bank in order to really accomplish your goals in creating a home studio for yourself. I mean, this is the whole point of this, is that I want to show you that you can actually do this on the cheap. You can do this with everything can be somewhat inexpensive, and you can afford to create your studio. Okay, I don't want you to think it's out of your reach. Okay, now this is the most important part of this that we're talking about: tutorial videos. Now, what do I use for that? Tutorial videos, you're going to need about 2 gigs of RAM will do fine, which is newer computers generally have 2. You don't want 1. You'll have efficiency issues. You know, I really think you kind of need a new computer. But remember, new computers, folks, can cost like $700. I mean, they could be pretty inexpensive. So that is what you need to do tutorials. And now let's talk video editing software and screen capture software. Okay, screen capture software can be the same as video editing software, but generally speaking, not the other way around. Screen capture software, some editing software has screen capture capabilities, but some do not. So that's what we're going to cover now. Video editing software for PC. Camtasia. Now this is the absolute best, in my opinion, the best editing software for PC. Now it costs about $250, but you have a 30-day free trial, and once you actually start using it, you folks will not be disappointed. It is really just user-friendly and really gives you just the most bang for your buck in terms of all the screen capture video editing software out there. Okay, so Camtasia, in my opinion, is number one. That's number one. Okay, now let's move on to another option. Okay, and when I say another option, I say it loosely, because if you're doing video tutorials, Vegas Movie Studio HD does not have screen capture capabilities. Okay, it does not allow you to use to do the tutorials. You can't share your screen. You can't capture and record your screen like I'm doing right now. This that I'm doing right now is using screen capture software. Okay, Vegas Movie Studio does not have that. What they do have, however, is transitions that you can make. You can really, it's just like creating a movie that you would do any sort of editing with. Okay, but it costs about $100. All right, so it still costs a little bit of money. Of course, it's cheaper than Camtasia, and it might be an option for those who are thinking they don't want to create video tutorials or screen capture tutorials, or any screen capture for that matter. So the last one I wanted to talk about is Windows Movie Maker, and this is similar to Vegas Movie Studios. However, it's free, and it comes already generally built into your computer. I mean, usually if you buy a new PC, usually it has, you upgrade, you pay an additional X amount of dollars to have the Windows Movie Maker installed, already in it, pre-installed. Now, the Windows Movie Maker is not as nice as the Vegas Movie Studio. It's not as hands-on. However, it is free. And like some people were asking me, were there any free solutions for video creators so that they could put images and transitions up and not have to pay a pretty penny? And this is the option. This is the what is available to you. Okay. Of course, it has no screen capture capabilities, just like Vegas Movie Studios. So if you are thinking about doing any screen capture, Camtasia is the one to focus on. Okay, video editing software for Mac. The software that I use on Mac is called ScreenFlow, and it's actually what I'm using currently. Costs about $99 to use, and in my opinion, it's the best option for Mac. It gives me the most compatibility. It gives me the most capabilities. It has a lot of features that I can use, and I find it's just more user-friendly than anything else I've found for Mac. Now, Camtasia has a version of their software for Mac. However, I feel like Camtasia they just broke the mold when they did their PC software, because their software for Mac just has you can't hold a candle to the PC version. In fact, Camtasia for Mac isn't even as good as ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow, in my opinion, and I've used both, the ScreenFlow works better. It has more capabilities, it has more transitions, more things. There's way more you can do with it than Camtasia for Mac. Okay. And of course, I need to tell you about a free option. Of course, I have to tell you about a free option. The iMovie. iMovie has software that you can create movies with, and it's already built into your Mac computer, and it is a great option for those who are wanting to do any type of movie editing. I love iMovie. I think it has a lot more compatibility, a lot more capabilities than, say, Movie Maker. And maybe that's just because Mac has a few more features available to it. But it's really great, and sometimes I will take, when I'm doing something in front of a camera, I'll use iMovie. But then I'll also use ScreenFlow if I'm doing any capturing of me on screen. Okay, so I know it's kind of a screen within a screen within a screen at that point. I don't want that to confuse you, but the two that I recommend, ScreenFlow for when you're trying to do screen capture tutorials, and then iMovie for, if you're just trying to shoot you on screen, or if you're doing a movie, editing a scene, editing whatever. Okay, it's both really good sources for movie making. This is kind of an overall picture of what you'd see. As you can see, there's the flip camera, and the flip camera has a USB port built into it, which goes directly into your computer and will download all of your videos right then and there. Right next to that is the Sony Recorder, and it has a port on the side. You plug in to the computer, and it acts as a MP recorder, or you can use it as a microphone. The third option is the lapel mic or lavalier. Lapel mic is great if you're doing filming where you're filming yourself in front of the camera and you don't want something as bulky as a giant microphone staring you in the face, and you want something a little more subtle, less obvious, and that clips right on and works really about the same. And then you have the work lights here. These are work lights that were probably bought at Home Depot. I mean, they're really, they're the stand, everything else. I bet you could get all that for $40 to $50. Okay, so I recommend you getting a light source similar to this. And then, of course, we have the computers. And then directly next to the computers, we have the software that you would use with the computer. All right, ScreenFlow for Mac. There's Movie Studio HD for PC. However, remember I said it's Camtasia. Camtasia is the one to use, and use the 30-day trial. Believe me, you will not be sorry. I think they're at Series 7 now with Camtasia, so take a look at that. Okay, so now let's make a video. Let's make a video. This video has gotten pretty long. I think that I'm going to be spacing it out, but let's go in directly and let's upload a video. So first off, we have to go to YouTube.